Hello everyone and welcome back to the Marseille View. I'm Stefan and today's video is going to be about Miralem Pjanic. So this is a rumour that's kind of just caught my eye over the last 24 hours, and the rumour is that Miralem Pjanic, Bosnian midfielder, has an agreement to join OM, and that the club are waiting on things going through with the DNCG so that they can get the go ahead to start recruiting. So you might be familiar with Pjanic. You probably will be. He's quite a big name player actually. He's played for Juventus. He's currently at Barcelona, but we'll maybe know him in France a long time ago, from his time at Lyon and before that Metz. He's a player that kind of broke through at a very young age. I think he was like 16 or 17 when he started playing at Metz, and then made that big move to Lyon. Really good player. Number of things kind of interesting about this move. So he's someone who is a very good ball playing midfielder, sort of deep line playmaker, who passes the ball really well, holds the ball really well. He's the kind of guy that when he gets the ball, he doesn't lose it. He's very technically strong. But he's actually got some good defensive qualities as well, which is kind of why he's maybe playing a bit deeper now. I believe that when he was younger, he was actually playing as, if I remember correct, it was a long time ago, but I believe he was actually playing more like a attacking midfielder, sometimes even out wide when he was at Metz and Lyon, and then later on in his career he's kind of dropped deeper. So when he was at Roma, he started playing more deeper, like in a sort of midfield double pivot, I think, with De Rossi or Strootman or whoever was there at the time. He's got certain qualities that he suits that kind of role really well. And I guess that's possibly why he's been linked to us. With Boubacar Kamara departing, we're looking for a defensive midfielder. So maybe we're seeing Pjanic as a potential defensive midfielder, but one who's got very good ball playing skills. And that's kind of interesting because he's a different profile from Kamara, who's more of a kind of old-fashioned type defensive midfielder. Are we looking to play a slightly different system now? Some of the other names that we've been linked to in that position are also quite, good ball-playing midfielders. So it looks like we might be looking for a slightly different profile to Kamara, or it could be that there's just not that many guys like Kamara left on the market these days. So maybe we're looking at more developed style of play in midfield. Maybe Sampaoli's looking at playing a completely different system entirely, and we've just not realised that. I mean, he's done that before. Let's face it, when last season we were expecting us to play a particular way, and he came out with a different formation that we've seen throughout the season. So he's one who's known to change things up. So we might see something entirely different anyway. And it could be that Pjanic isn't even being eyed as a replacement for Kamara. Maybe he's been eyed as an experienced player, Champions League level player who can add depth to the squad, and maybe we're eyeing someone else as well. Or I don't know. There could be multiple reasons why we're eyeing him. There is some things about this deal that sort of had me a little bit worried. So one of them is where this player's at. He's struggled in recent years. He's been a flop at Barcelona. So you got that move to Barcelona as bizarre swap deal type, kind of arrangement with Juventus for Arthur going in the other direction. He's been a flop. He hasn't done well at Barcelona. Didn't play much. Disappointed. He looks to be a player who's kind of on the decline. He's not the player that he once was. He's 32 years old now, so his actual decline looks like it started quite early, about 2 years ago. Maybe that's why Juventus got rid of him. Obviously, we're not Barcelona or Juventus, so we're playing at a much lower level, so maybe he can still do a job for us. But the thing that worries me is last season he went on loan to Besiktas in Turkey, and I haven't followed Turkish football, but I understand that he hasn't done particularly that well in Turkey either. So this is a player who's struggling by the looks of it, and who isn't playing a lot of football as he once was. So I don't really know what kind of level we're expecting him to be at. But then again, Marseille is a club that sometimes can rejuvenate fallen players. It's happened in the past. Look at Lassana Diarra, for example, came here and he was fantastic. So perhaps Pjanic could do something in that kind of way where he could sort of rebuild his career temporarily or have a sort of second wind in the twilight years of his career. Certainly technically he's a very interesting player, so you can see why we might be looking at him. But the other thing as well that I believe is a bit of a question mark is the financial elements. Is this a loan deal? And if it's a loan deal, I'm assuming we're going to be paying his salary because Barcelona are trying to reduce their wage bill because of the financial problems they've got. What kind of salary is he on? He's on a big salary at Barcelona. We can't afford that under this current budget. So that you sort of wonder why we would be going for him. And if it's a permanent deal, what kind of contract are we going to give him? He's 32 years old, appears to be on the decline. I don't think we want to see anyone like him coming in on a 3 or 4 year contract at this stage. So a temporary deal actually kind of suits us better, especially when you don't really know what you're going to get. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a surprising one for me actually in some ways because of the financial elements. We just don't know those details yet though, so it'll be interesting to see. Perhaps there isn't any truth to this. You know, we're seeing a lot of rumours at the moment, and Pjanic could just be another one of those. But there's some indications anyway that there might be something there with a bit of substance with this rumour. But I guess we will see over the next week or so as OM passes through the DNCG and we start actually recruiting players. But yeah, tell me, what do you think in the comments? Do you think Pjanic is a good signing for Marseille or not? Do you think he is damaged goods? Is he cooked? What are you thinking? Let me know. And also, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and do check out our podcast, which you can find on SoundCloud and all your major podcast apps. Allez,